Whoa, Black Betty, bam, lamb, whoa, Black Betty, bam, lamb, Black Betty had a child, bam, lamb, the damn thing gone wild, bam, lamb said a word not a mile, bam, lamb, the damn thing gone blind, bam, lamb said, oh, Black Betty, bam, lamb, whoa, Black Betty.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for an hour. We are simulcasting over at gunchannels.com, where we're watching the conversation from the people that are joining us while we're live. When it's all over, we will take the audio and post it over on iTunes, and you can check us out at dailygunshow.com. Got a couple people joining in. We've got some links out there at gunchannels.com for people that want to join in and be part of the conversation. We got Gary jumping in from Kansas. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for the invite.
Always. And then Cycle Camp jumping in from Connecticut.
Hi, folks, and thanks for the invite.
Always. And then I'm down here in Arizona. So coffee and cheese. It would be funner if we had more people in here, but we'll go through the room. Your favorite cheese, if you have one. Don't be pressured.
Sharp cheddar.
Boy, I like so many different kinds of cheese. When I can get it, I really like horseradish cheddar cheese.
What? What is that all about?
Oh yeah, cheddar cheese with horseradish in it. Oh my God, it's great.
Mixed in with it.
Yeah, it's all mixed in as part of the cheese when it's made.
Oh no, I never heard of that. I'll have to check that out.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, I like a sharp cheddar.
That shit's the bomb.
But I'm down for Swiss. I like a lot of different cheeses. Blue cheese, big fan of the blue cheese.
Yep.
Yeah, I like blue cheese. There's not a whole lot of cheese I don't like.
Now, all we have tonight is Sanka. So we have both regular and decaf. But do you have a coffee preference?
I prefer flavored coffees like hazelnut and vanilla, and that's because I'm a decaf drinker, and the flavoring helps cover up the little bit of a bitter aftertaste that you get from the decaf.
I like Newman's Own Special Blend.
And I can't tell the difference in coffee, so all coffee to me.
Yeah, Vermont. We have a Vermont brand up here. In fact, I think they have it in the. There's a gas station that specializes in Vermont coffees, and I like them because they're really smooth. I won't drink at a the hell's that called, the one with the
Starbucks.
with the girl with the crowd. Yeah, Starbucks. I really don't like Starbucks coffee. I personally think they over roast it, and they burn it or something because it's just so strong and bitter. It's just not worth it to me. So I prefer a milder coffee, Dunkin' Donuts or Newman's. Like Gizzard said, Newman's is really good.
Yeah.
So you cut you off.
I'm just saying it's a medium roast. It's not real dark.
Oh, okay. So scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like you have like sweatshirts that say coffee phrases on them, and you have special coffee cups for different moods you're in, and like you have different types of coffee for all these different situations, and you give gifts of coffee, right? That's number 10. Number 1 is you could care less, you almost hate coffee. Where are you at on the spectrum?
I'm about a 5 or a 6. I've got to have my first cup in the morning when I wake up. And I do have one particular cup I drink out of. It's only because my daughter got it for me. But other than that, I may have a cup at work on occasion. But out there, you're pretty much limited to whatever the crap coffee that the company buys. So I don't drink it too much.
Tea wouldn't substitute iced tea, anything else with caffeine, or is it the coffee?
It's got to be coffee. I'm not a big tea fan.
Where you at with all that cycle?
I like. I'm probably more like an 8 or a 9. I have a particular coffee mug I drink my coffee out of, and when I get a really good coffee, I like to share it around. I got a hold of some Kona coffee a year or two ago, and I went out and bought that for everybody because that stuff was really good.
Yeah,
The Hawaiian coffees.
Z sent me bags of coffee from Hawaii twice, and those things are super good.
But yeah, I have a specific coffee. In fact, I get when my family comes over, if someone grabs my coffee cup, I get a little offended. But
Yeah, I mean,
I don't mind it.
but
Go ahead. If people sit in my chair, I don't mind that much, but I don't like people drinking out of my coffee cup.
Well, I can see that. I mean, I wouldn't want anybody drinking out of something you're used to drinking out of or whatever. I would say I don't mean it all tastes the same, but it doesn't. I just don't care. I like all coffees basically. I had to do for a minute there. I was what do you call it? Starbucks barista thing. So I ran a coffee shop for a minute, and it was kind of neat learning all about it. And once you understand it, it's interesting and everything. But I just don't. I just can't get into all the branding and stuff. There's a lot of interesting stuff being done. You guys heard about the coffees that go through the critters? There's two different kinds that go through critters, and then you drink.
Aren't those marmots or something like that?
Well, there's a civet cat or something like that.
Civet cat, that's it. Yep.
And they eat them whole and then poop them out, and then they take the whole beans out of their poop, and then something about their intestines, but also elephants. They'll squeeze whole the elephants and then take them out of the elephant poop.
Oh, I haven't heard about the elephants. I heard about the civet cats, but you just gotta wonder. See, stuff like that just makes you wonder where the McDonald's special sauce comes from. It's really just if you can get over the factor, then I guess it's okay.
I want to know who the first person was to pick out these coffee beans out of animal poop and say, "Hey, let's grind this stuff up and drink it and see what it tastes like."
Yeah, really. So the cat one is more common, I guess. You can get that. It's expensive or whatever. And something about, like I say, it's something about their going through their system, I guess. But the elephant seems more interesting. So Ponnery told me about that one. And that one's way more rare. There's only one place, I guess, that does it. And then there's only one place in the United States that offers it. It's in Texas by northwest of San Antonio. And it's something again about going on an elephant. They're like a cow, I guess. They have 4 stomachs, I guess. So it's something about going through their system. It's like a some sort of I don't know. It's a what do you call it? Fermenting. I mean, that's what happens in their stomachs. So I guess it's something. It does some chemical alteration in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's super expensive. $85 a cup or something like that.
Well, pants, they clean the poop off it before they roast it. Otherwise, it would gum up the grinder, But the other thing is a lot of people are saying about the Black Rifle coffee. No, I've never had it, but a lot of people in the side chat on YouTube are talking about the Black Rifle stuff. So, I mean, if somebody want to give me some of that, I don't know. Black Rifle probably thinks people that drink decaf are all pussies anyway, so you can't win them all. But
version.
Yeah.
From what I understand, the guy was a coffee guy, and he went over and saw some of the stuff in whatever countries he was in, and then came back and started the company. And you got your loyal Starbucks people for sure. So if you figure you're going to have people that are loyal to a beverage brand, it might as well be a pro gun.
Yeah, Pro 2A brand, yeah.
And it's an income revenue for gun shops. I mean, as much as I don't have the discretionary income, I guess, to pay extra for coffee like that. When it's a thing that shops can inventory, and it's alternative. Now you have a place you can go source coffee locally that's an alternative to stupid Starbucks, and it's an income source for the shops. I see it, and actually, I've seen the coffee now on this last tour. I'd have to actually think about it, but maybe looking back through the pictures, I'd say I see at least seen the coffee in more than 50%, like more than not. I saw the coffee. Not always Black Rifle. There's a couple of 3 different I guess you could say Pro 2A, that aren't even local, that are national level. On the gun channel side, people are throwing out some stuff. Columbiana, is that the movie, or is that a type of coffee? Is he saying pepper jack?
That's a cheese. I love pepper jack cheese as a snack cheese when I'm having cheese and cracker and pepperoni, because the pepper jack really holds its own.
Yeah, I can handle a pepper cheese, but it's got to be like whatever you would call like the equivalent of artisanal or something. I want it like small batch, like good cheese. I don't want no American cheese with just nuggets of hot peppers in there or something. Like the processed stuff. I want some fancy cheese with pepper in it, I think.
Yeah, you don't want the what do you call it, store cheese, the Stop and Shop or any of that kind of stuff.
It's just like with oil, some of that's cheap cheese. That's where I usually see the pepper jack stuff is my stuff melts.
So do you typically buy your cheese in little packages or big blocks?
Oh, I don't ever hardly buy cheese. But if I was,
I'm a big block guy. I must have 10 pounds of cheese in my refrigerator right now.
Yeah, I like the hard cheese, like what is that, Parmesan? Like buying that in a big block and getting it, because otherwise, when you buy it in the containers, there's a lot of wood pulp in there to keep it separated. Big fan of that.
Ghost is out there on the YouTube side, said he likes Swiss cheese and no coffee. The best thing about Swiss cheese is when you're making like a pastrami sandwich, but I love the quiche Lorraine that you make with Swiss cheese. So I always have a block or two of Swiss cheese around in case I want to make a quiche.
Never made a quiche.
Oh, it's easy. It's a lot of fun. Well, I cheat though. I don't make the crust because I really suck at that. I've never been. I do a lot of cooking, but I've never been able to roll out a crust and have it come out right. So I gave up and I just buy them pre-made at the store.
Right.
I can't believe we haven't attracted Midnight Boy here.
No, because we're talking real food.
Yeah, we said food stuff like 3 times. Doesn't that magically cause it to appear or something?
Usually does.
Oh, we're not in front of a mirror. That's what it is.
All right. Otherwise, anybody heard about this HR 38 situation going around? Is that legit, or anybody heard anything about it?
I haven't.
Is that the one from the senator that wants to have a gun buyback and then prosecute everybody? Don't turn them in.
No, HR 38 was national reciprocity. It got shelved.
Well, that'll never happen.
At Florida High School, I think. Well, that seemed to be the consensus in Match Chat. They aren't going to do anything with it.
Well, you got to ask yourself, whenever the Dems get in, not only do the bills get right through the committees, they drop onto the floor within a week or two of them taking over. When the Republicans come in, they're also busy about not offending anybody. I mean, that's what happened with 38 the first time, right? They were all ready to put it on the table, and then the shooting happened, and they took it off. And it's like, what the hell did that have to do with that? But they're just such idiots. Craven. You don't get to use the word craven very often, but that's how I look at most Republican policymakers. They're just craven bastards.
Well, I mean, their job is to be a representative, and if we don't say things, then how do they know what to represent? If we don't voice an opinion, how can they be failing if we haven't told them what we want? So we can sit here with an opinion all day and night if we don't express it to them, and if we don't organize and do it in a way that's overwhelming, then how are they going to know the importance of it?
Yeah, but I'm not like that. I'm up there at the Capitol. I'm making noise. I'm sending letters. I'm doing all that shit. So, unfortunately, I live in a blue state, though, so it doesn't do much good.
But it does, though. That's what I'm saying. I think it's easy to get frustrated and go, we didn't see an immediate victory, so we didn't have much consequence. But I think there is. I'm a big advocate for saying the political strategists are looking at what we're doing, and if they can shelf something like 38 and we just go, dang, and go pout, then they understand, that's the reaction they're going to expect the next time around. How do we expect a different reaction if we aren't willing to get activated when we're not being pushed? And it might be a futile effort, but it's the residual gain is that we've learned how to work together, and we've pushed something that even seemed like a no-win, and that, again, those political strategists, when they're looking at that, they're like, wow, these people are upset about something that was that much of a far shot, because it was all they had right now, or whatever their strategy. But if they're whatever their impressions of it are, but it's going to have an effect on what they decide to do next, or how much weight they're going to give future gun control stuff. They seem to be pretty brazen about it right now.
Yeah, well, the deplorables are only 50% of the country, and it's really tough. We're balanced on the edge of a knife here, and unfortunately, just because you're a Trump supporter or you're a deplorable doesn't make you a gun guy either. So, part of the problem is we are truly outnumbered, and that's the reason that it's a republic and not a democracy, so that people can't vote your rights away. So the important thing is to just be ready to stand up and resist and say, no, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, that's valid. But how do we, isn't a way to get ready, quote unquote, is to do things as a group, do things in an organized way in order to prepare, target shooting, so that when you need to make a shot, you can. This might not, like Clover saying, his congressman a while back said that it wouldn't happen. Who cares if it wouldn't happen? That doesn't mean you don't, put all your weight behind it and push. Otherwise, they see no reason to disregard it like they just did. They know that there's going to be, there's consequences if we put this on the table. We got to do something with it. I would cut you off, Gary. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, I don't know it's so much we're outnumbered. There are an awful lot of gun owners in this country. It's just so many of them are silent and not part of the Pro-2A movement. And of those that are, even a less percentage of them actually do anything actively to support the movement, like writing, contacting their congressmen or senators and stuff like that. If we could get everybody up off their butts, and I'm not talking just the immediate, crowd of gun channels people. I'm talking everybody who's interested in keeping our guns. We need everybody to participate. And then there'd be more numbers than you think.
Exactly. And that's
the problem is this isn't the only hobby I have that has exactly the same characteristics. Okay, I'm a motorcyclist, and motorcyclists have exactly the same fractionalization problem that gun owners do, because you've got the racers, you've got the dirt drivers, you've got the off-roaders, you've got the what do you call it, the touring guys, and they all don't look at it the same way. Just like you have the hunters and the target shooters and the concealed carry people and all that stuff. So I unfortunately, it seems like every hobby I have the same exact problem, where we just have a hard time getting everybody singing off of the same hymn book.
Until such things happen as what happened in Washington, where they go to declare basically all semi-automatic weapons as assault weapons. Then all of a sudden, half the hunters in this country lose their hunting rifles and stuff like that, and their shotguns, and then they'll realize, oh shoot, I should have been part of this movement. I didn't think it affected me. But it could affect everybody.
Well, the way you bring it up there, it makes me think that the fear thing doesn't work, or hasn't worked, except for when there's an immediate threat, right? So I personally don't think fear is the only motivator. It certainly can be, and it's necessary at times, but I think the key is to figure out a way to motivate us all that is not in defense of something, but in offense. And that's a challenge, I guess, but I don't know if much effort's been done. There's so much of this apathetic, well, I mean, all the stuff that we've just heard everywhere in the chat today and in Matt's chat earlier. There's valid reasons to not effort towards something that's a no-win scenario. But again, I guess my thing is I see it as an opportunity to work together. If it's running something into a cliff, then we're running something into a cliff. But at least we've figured out how to grab something and all grab on and push it in the same direction. And then, when the generals are looking at what's going on out there and they see that a bunch of people are working together, they understand that if they put something in front of those people that are working together the next time, that they're going to be more effective, and they might not bother to put something in front of them. I don't know. I'm saying the same thing over and over. Clover jumped in.
Hey.
Coffee, cheese.
What about it? Coffee's gross, and yeah, I'm totally on board with pretty much any cheese.
Okay. You don't drink coffee at all then?
No.
Caffeine?
I've got to be literally freezing to death and there be nothing else to drink.
Caffeine at all, or just no caffeine?
No, I usually have like a caffeinated soda or something in the morning, but I've cut pretty much all caffeine except for that. Now, occasionally you go out to eat at a restaurant, or something at night, and I will sparingly have a caffeinated drink of some kind, but yeah, I try to stay away from caffeine except for the one in the morning.
See, that's the beauty of it. There ain't no caffeine in alcohol.
And I've slept better. It's really I'm not used to it yet, but I can even take like a nap, just like a little hour nap, and I mean I actually get really good sleep out of that. Whereas, drinking caffeinated stuff pretty much all day long, it was hard to sleep at night, and some kind of a nap that wasn't going to happen. Now my wife and kids, they're really big into the whole coffee thing.
I didn't even ask about does anybody have one of those things where it's like a little coffee creamer and you stick it in the robot and then you squish it and it turns into 1 cup of coffee?
Yeah, the Keurig. Yeah, we've got one of those. Yeah, they do hot chocolate too, by the way.
They do tea also.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I got one.
Yep.
And hot apple cider.
Do you have one of those, Cycle?
I have a Keurig because I have family that drinks caffeinated coffee. And also, sometimes you just want 1 cup. Most of the time when I make coffee, I make it a pot at a pop and I drink it all day. But it's decaf, so, nobody cares. It's castrated coffee. But like my older sister, she will not drink decaf coffee. So it was actually given to me. It was a friend of my daughter had one, and she was going to get rid of it. And my daughter said, "Oh, my dad would love that." So I got it for nothing, so I didn't care. But so I do use the Keurig if I'm going to have like just a cup. But if I'm having one of my regular days and I get up and I just make a pot of coffee, then I use my regular percolator.
Now, I thought those things were super expensive, but somebody's telling me they're like $40, $50.
Oh, no, they're much more expensive than that.
Oh, no.
You get a decent one.
I did see some on Black Friday that were in the $40, $50 range.
Yeah, that's the single cuppers, though.
Yeah.
That's all I ever use is single cuppers.
Oh, okay. No, I have the one with the big tank on the side. You can make 3 or 4 cups at a pop before you refill it.
1 cup of coffee in the morning, I'm done. So that's really all I need.
All right, so now we're going to reference something that happened earlier in the chat over on Gun Channels this morning on Knives chats. So asking the people out there that are watching the chat, I guess, as well. But I'm going to go left to right. Do you know what Welsh rabbit is, Clover?
That doesn't sound familiar. No.
Food. Cycle Camp.
Well, I know that it's not actually Welsh rabbit. It's Welsh rarebit, which is a little different, and it's not made out of rabbits.
Do you know what it is?
I don't recall off the top of my head what it is. I just know those two things. It's a British thing, isn't it?
Yes. Gizzard, do you know what it is? Welsh rabbit.
For sure, but I was under the impression it was a dessert of some sort.
Oh, no. Ghost? You know what? Well, first off, Ghost, your coffee, your cheese.
Cheese is Swiss, and I don't drink coffee.
All right. So caffeine at all, or just no caffeine?
Yeah, I'll drink. I've been drinking a lot of diet root beer lately.
That's
Cut away the
non-caffeinated.
sugars.
Well, depending on what it is, that's non-caffeinated.
Yeah, he just
Well,
said sodas.
There's only one real root beer that's got caffeine. Barks. Barks got spiked.
Barks, I love. I love Barks. Excuse me. I'm on a little diet now, so
See, I don't. Barks is gross.
Oh no, Barks was the best one,
Barks is the best root beer out there.
dude. And then I don't remember if it was Barks or if it was somebody else, but for a minute there, whatever does, I think Sunkist and ginger ale and something else. They maybe like 5 different ones. They made a 10. You remember that one? It's like Sunkist 10. So it was diet, but then they put just enough sugar in it to make it 10 calories, and it tasted just like the regular stuff because that sugar was enough to kill all the chemically taste.
I'll tell you what's not bad if you're a Coke fan. Coke Zero is not bad at all.
Okay, and then cheese, you said Swiss?
Oh, I mean, I love all cheese, but if I had to pick one, it'd be Swiss.
Yeah, I hear that. The aged Swiss?
I like aged Swiss. My wife does not. She likes the what is it called? The young Swiss or whatever it's called. It doesn't
Baby
smell
Swiss.
as bad. Baby Swiss doesn't smell as bad. But if I had to choose, I'd go with the aged Swiss because I don't care about the smell. I think it tastes great.
Okay, and then do you know what Welsh Rabbit is?
I'm sorry, what?
It's a food from England called Welsh Rabbit.
I mean, I would assume that it was rabbit raised in Wales, but I'm assuming that's not it.
No, I don't know. It says on the internet like they think they know where the, or nobody really knows where the name came from. It's half a grilled cheese sandwich. It's just a piece of toast, and you put a piece of bread on it, and then you put it.
Then yes, I'm all for it.
Cheese toast. It's literally cheese toast.
Let me ask
Seriously.
you a question. Do y'all
Have
put mayonnaise on your grilled cheese?
No.
Dude,
I've actually met someone that does that, and it's the most disgusting thing in the world. But people do it. I don't know why.
There's people who put. Well, Rick even was talking about he puts butter on his toast and then the cheese. Like, I don't understand, but
Yeah, I don't get that. It's just grilled cheese is
butter.
cheese
What do you
and bread.
mean butter on the toast? On the outside of the?
On the outside, yeah.
he would make toast and then he would put butter on it and then he would lay it down on a plate and then put cheese on there and then heat the cheese up so it melted all onto the bread. So it's like half a grilled cheese sandwich, and then with
Oh,
butter.
that's kind of
Well,
weird.
regular Welsh rarebit is cheese and condiments, basically. It's just a whole room full of condiments.
Oh, well, according to Rick, it's a melted cheese on toast. And when I looked it up on the internet, some of them look like everything from like an enchilada to like a fancy like piece of butter or something on a piece of toast. Like they
Yeah,
look,
I mean, flour, salt, pepper, mustard, Worcestershire sauce, hot pepper sauce. Ugh. And that's in addition to the cheese and
oh yeah, he did say something about putting salt and pepper on it after it was melted.
well,
But-
salted cheese is good. I like salty cheese.
I'll put the Lowry seasoning salt on one every now and then. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So this whole thing came around because I was looking for a picture for the show today, and I seen this picture of cheese and coffee. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's something I'm sure my grandpa would have done. So, yeah, anybody ever heard of eating just a big chunk of cheese with coffee?
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Holy moly!
I'll cut off like a quarter-pound piece of cheese off of one of my bricks and just sit down with a cup of coffee. I do that with wine too.
Wine, I guess I can understand. I just never heard of it with coffee before. I
Oh,
figured
yeah.
more like for sweets and stuff.
I'll usually drink milk with cheese. A nice cold glass of milk is really good with cheese.
All right. So, anybody else heard of coffee and cheese, or would consider eating coffee and just pieces of cheese?
I
Recycle.
mean, I wouldn't breathe it for obvious reasons.
Oh, he even left. He didn't even get asked that kind of question. Is this a certain kind of cheese? Like they're showing it with some kind of sharp cheddar cheese. Would you do it with that or some other kind of cheese?
I actually prefer a softer cheese like a Munster when I do that.
Munster.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever eaten the Mexican cheeses? I don't know what they're called because I can't keep track, but they're basically like mozzarella but way saltier.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, that's what
I-
some of
I'm
them.
sure I've had them at one time or another. I don't recall any right off the top.
Goat cheese. Yes or no? Clover?
Well, yeah, I like goat cheese.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ghost?
No,
Gary.
Never had it.
Oh, really? Never had like what are those Greek salads? I guess.
And not that I can recall, anyway.
Is feta goat cheese?
Yeah, it's the same thing, right?
yeah, same thing.
Oh, okay.
basically.
I didn't think feta cheese was a goat cheese.
I don't think it is. Well, it might be, but I mean, they are different.
It tastes similar to me.
Yeah, they're just salty, kind of crumbly cheese.
Yeah, I like goat cheese. It's got a little zing to it.
Steadily's asking cream cheese versus cottage cheese. Clover.
Cream cheese.
Michael.
I mean, it's like apples and oranges, just two totally different things.
It really is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it
I
is.
mean, I wouldn't put cottage cheese on a bagel, and I wouldn't put cream cheese as a salad dish. You know what I mean? With a cherry on it.
So, but I mean, if you had to pick one, you're not getting one ever again.
Ooh, if I could only eat one and that's it forever again, it'd be cottage cheese.
Okay, Ghost.
It's more edible as a standalone thing.
It'd be cream because cottage might be the only cheese that I really don't like at all.
You
Maybe
can do
just the
so
texture.
much. You can do so much with cream cheese too.
Yes, you can.
My mom does an awesome cream cheese pound cake.
Let Gary finish. Don't gizzard him. Gary.
I like them both, but I prefer cream cheese.
I was going to say cottage cheese, but as soon as I framed it where you're never going to get one ever again, if you do like cream cheese, that means there's no more cheesecakes.
That's correct.
That would suck. But so I like cottage cheese better. I don't like cream cheese, but I like cheesecakes.
And I do like cream cheese and bagels. That's a really good. Yeah, big fan of that.
Yeah.
All right, this I don't know what I'm going to say this anyway. Brown sugar and Munster cheese in a frying pan. Caramelize the sugar with the cheese halfway melted so the sugar doesn't burn. Dip with some bread.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I don't know. I think he's either punking us or that's some kind of Europe food. That sounds
Oh,
like
I'm a cheese. That sounds good though. Oh, and cheese stuffed jalapenos. I love those. They got to be the kind of milder jalapenos. I don't like them really done. We actually do those, and we wrap them in bacon, and we put them in a smoker, and we call them atomic buffalo turds.
But I've seen people stuff them with cream cheese and some stuff them with cheddar cheese.
Yep,
You get,
good
you get them
stuff.
both ways around here.
And it's I think the hotter the pepper, the cream cheese, if it's a hotter pepper, cream cheese works a little better because it offsets the heat a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a mix, with cheddar and cream cheese, that's kind of the way to go. Have a little bit of both.
We never tried that.
So I was up in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and South Dakota, and all those states you can just go into a gas station and it's like 50% cheese curds. So you get like these bags of cheese curds and it'll be yellow ones or white ones. You know what I'm talking about? They look like racers or something or anyway, if you crammed one of those into a pepper, it seems like it's built for that. Like it's the right size and shape and it's already it's like one of them little carrots or something. It's like the right size to shove into a pepper.
Yeah, I don't know what the texture would be. It'd be kind of a different. I don't know.
They're not like string cheese. Like I thought they were going to be like little string cheeses. They're just little chunks of cheese. It's just like if someone melted cheese and dropped it in like lead shot into a water, and it just sort of formed into little cheese balls instead of
Like a little cheese dumpling.
Yeah, but there was no striation. Like I was thinking it was going to be like little cheese sticks, or those string cheeses.
I love some string cheese.
But yeah, the curds were totally boring. I didn't really enjoy them. I wouldn't have eaten them again. I won't eat them again. I don't like them. I've eaten them.
I haven't had any, but I've heard that they don't really taste like cheese. They
They're
don't
just
taste like
eating chunks
anything.
of butter or something.
Yeah, it's like they don't taste like anything almost. Yeah.
I've eaten the fried ones, which are super good, but they're fried.
Yeah.
Dano just jumped in. So, coffee preference, Dano?
As far as my favorite coffee,
Yes.
That would be Dunkin' Donuts flavored coffee with the glazed chocolate donut.
Oh, see how he crammed a donut into his coffee? And
Yep.
now cheese. Are you going to cram a donut into the cheese answer?
What's my favorite cheese?
Yeah.
Cheddar.
All right. Just
Got to be more specific than that.
You mean like a type of cheddar?
Mild, medium, sharp, extra sharp.
You could
I guess I'd go with a medium.
I like the cheddar cheese so hard and that it like crumbles instead of cuts.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You have to like drink a glass
When
of
it
water.
gets crumbly, then it like falls out of your hands onto the floor on your shirt.
Yeah. And
I
then
don't know about you, but I do that kind of stuff on a counter, so I don't typically have those kinds of problems.
Well, I figured that's also why you sport a beard.
You can save it for later, man. It's dessert.
Exactly.
I was
Just take it out
actually-
later.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
in
yeah.
London one time. This was several years ago, and went into a store and they said, "Do you want to try some cheese?" And I said, "What kind is it?" And they said, "It's cheddar." And I said, "Well, I've had cheddar before. I'm from America." And they said, "You don't know what cheddar tastes like until you come to England, because true cheddar is made in England." And it was quite a bit better. So,
Like stronger, sharper.
both. It was
Okay.
very good. Very good.
It's got to be something with the milk that they do with.
Maybe all because of them. They're on an island around in the ocean. So all the cows are getting salt water all the time in their lungs, and it's weird.
it's the
could
milk
be
from
it.
anemic cows. That's what it is. Well, you got all these cows with really bad teeth that have a hard time eating the grass.
So Pink was saying on the gun channel side, which is the side that is a platform that doesn't hate guns, and then we're also getting it on the other side from, what was it? Somebody else. Somebody was saying American. Oh, Obnoxious was saying American cheese. American cheese, yes or no? Clover.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I like all cheese just about. So yeah,
Cycle.
American cheese isn't cheese.
Ghost.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Gizzard.
I'll eat it on a sandwich and stuff like that. Yeah.
Dano.
If you want something that looks like cheese but doesn't taste like cheese, that's what you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a line here, right? And I think it has to do with some north-south thing or something. American cheese is whipped oil with green or with yellow food coloring in it. It is not cheese, but and that's because I don't know. I think, how can you like American cheese when you've eaten cheddar cheese?
All right, I got one for you. What about Velveeta? Who here likes Velveeta?
Won't eat it.
If
I
you
like
heat it up
using Velveeta as an ingredient and stuff. You to get the
Right.
cheesy sort of a flavor and consistency. But
Yeah.
same thing with American cheese and Velveeta. They're fine if you're eating like a bologna sandwich and you don't really give a shit. But I would never put American cheese on a
I'm gonna
Swiss
stop
burger
you
or
right there,
something.
kind
I
sir. I'm
will
gonna stop
stand
you
up
right
a
there,
little bit
kind
for
sir.
Velveeta.
Don't
You
you?
take Velveeta and some hot peppers, and you get some Tostitos, and for dipping, and put them in the microwave and get it nice hot and
Like a cheese sauce.
yeah,
Have you
like
ever had a grilled cheese made out of Velveeta? That's pretty good too.
where you dip your Tostito in there, and you get that hot peppery with the cheese.
When we went to that gross,
It's really bad for you.
We went to a really gross Mexican restaurant the first time we went. Or no, it wasn't the first time. Whenever we went to that big,
Yeah, April.
right? I never had gotten that queso dip stuff. That basically just a bowl of cheese. That was interesting. I don't think it was that good, but I didn't even realize that was a thing in Mexican restaurants. I didn't know that was an appetizer, I guess.
you talking about the queso?
Yeah, the bowls of cheese that we had. I think they were both
Oh,
the same,
yeah.
right? We said
If
two.
it's done right, it's about as good as it gets. In my opinion.
Yeah, that you were done very, very wrong by that restaurant. That's all I gotta say. But
In Tulsa, that was not queso.
yeah, no. I make I don't even call mine queso. I call mine cheese dip, but I use Velveeta. The Velveeta Mexican cheese is what I use as like a base, but then it's got cream cheese and it's got Rotel, and then it's got some cheddar in there as well.
What are you saying, Rotel? Like a can of chopped peppers?
Yeah, and then some Asiago and some cream cheese and a little bit of milk and some medium. I'm gonna lose G here, but sausage, like some hot and spicy, like breakfast sausage.
Man, you lost me at the Velveeta, but I'm all right.
See, I tell you what I do with mine is it's similar to that. I use Velveeta, a can of Rotel, some cream cheese, and a can of cream of mushroom soup.
Oh,
it's pretty darn good.
That might be, yeah. That's similar to the filling on my wife's cheese enchiladas.
So
that's the only time I'll use.
I know there's cream of. I know there's cream of chicken or mushroom or something in those.
I like cream of mushroom better, yeah. That's about all I'll do Velveeta with.
Anyway, I figured we'd talk about cheese tonight just to kind of give it a different spin on it and to give people some different insight. You know, it's a panel show, give people some different insight on all of us and our tastes and whatnot, give everybody a different thing to talk about. And we didn't have Midnight coming in here and ruining it. So
I mean, who would have thunk the night you talk about food, he doesn't show up? I was waiting for him.
He probably would have claimed that the best cheese is Slim Jim or something.
Yeah,
he probably would have picked like what do they put on Philly cheesesteak? Was that provolone?
Provolone can be okay.
It's okay, but I can't eat provolone by itself. It has to be kind of like what Cycles. It has to be an ingredient on something. You know, I'm not going to just take a slice of provolone and enjoy it.
How do you roll it up? It's got to be sliced really thin so you can roll it up good.
What's that one? Is it was called pimento cheese?
Where olive goes in there?
I'm not really sure what it is. I don't eat it, but my dad used to like pimento cheese, and I don't know what it is, but it didn't sound good.
Come in them little glass jars, didn't it?
Pimento is just red pepper. Pimento is just the red pepper, and they pickle it and put it in the middle of an olive, right? So I'm thinking it's just that in cheese.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
It'd be like a little salty piece of red pepper in the cheese.
Okay.
I think.
That makes sense. I don't even know what a pimento is, but
like a pepper jack, but more pickly than a peppery.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, pepper jack's not bad.
Kind of like pickles and cheese now. And that's one of my favorite combos, is pickles and cheese.
Dill pickle?
Mm-hmm. Well, I can go dill or sweet, but yeah.
I like dill better.
There's something about a pickle, and I don't know, something about the vinegar base, I guess, or something with the pickling and then the cheese. It kind of goes together.
It's a big thing around here about people taking the juice from a dill pickle jar and freezing it.
Yeah. My youngest one, she would do that, and she would actually drink it.
I'll drink it.
I'll drink it. I'll drink it.
Make popsicles and all that. Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the popsicle, but I can drink it.
Love it.
Pan says that provolone is just Swiss cheese without the holes, and so you get more for your money, and that Swiss cheese is a ripoff. That'd be true if they sold it by volume, but they sell cheese by the pound, so it doesn't really make any difference.
But it isn't, though, because provolone is just kind of maybe salty and like there's nothing to it, whereas Swiss has like tang to it.
Yeah, and it's a lot smoother, too. Provolone is a much drier cheese.
Thing is, the provolone is like American. It's like you can get such garbagey provolones. If you just buy the cheap provolones, they're really milky and not hard, like you're saying, or not salty.
Yeah.
Because they're making them to melt. All right, I was going to go back to coffee a bit, and I don't know. Anybody want to throw anything else in about coffee there?
I like it with my guns.
I used to like coffee in a French press. That was pretty good coffee.
Well, best coffee ever is in my opinion, is cowboy coffee, where you just take boiling water and you pour the grinds in there and let it set, and you smack it, and all the grinds go to the bottom, and that's good stuff. Or else French press would be second.
We would actually zotz it with cold water, and that would drop the stuff.
Yep.
For the people that do the coffee, my question is, at what point do you add, and what point in adding stuff does it not become coffee anymore? Because I've seen some really over the top stuff done to coffee.
I drink my black.
Beverage.
Well, I
So,
think
I
the
mean-
animal poop coffee we were talking about before is probably as far out as I want to get.
Well, I see a lot of people will be at a diner, so they'll get a cup of coffee and put like 5 creamers in there.
Oh
Is
man,
that too
I
much?
see
That's
people
like milk
do
at
like
that
they'll
point.
do like half and half, and then they'll do like their sugar, and then they'll do like chocolate syrup, and then they'll do, and I'm like, oh my god, could you whipped cream? And I'm like, could you put any more crap in your coffee?
I like putting alcohol in my coffee.
Well, that's why I think coffee is such a neat beverage. I mean, there's probably other ones, but it is a good base, and you can goop it up, or straight. Something is good too, but it's a body, right? The cream gives it some more, thickness to it or whatever, and then obviously the sweetened stuff gives it that flavors.
I will say that I like the hazelnut. I don't like coffee, but my wife will put hazelnut during the wintertime, and it smells great. I just don't like the taste of coffee, but it smells great with that hazelnut in there.
That's what I was gonna say. When I was working at the coffee place, we had 12 of those different flavors, and just out of curiosity, I'd try them. Okay, stuff I wouldn't normally ever order when I could have it for nothing. I was trying it, and it's crazy how how much you can monkey with coffee and have it come out so differently.
I just don't like the syrups because they're too sweet. When you do the coffee with a shot to change the flavor, it tends to be too sweet. Whereas if the coffee's been roasted, where it's roasted with hazelnuts or it's roasted with vanilla, it's a little more subtle, and I like it that way a little better.
My wife, she was raised on iced coffee, and then obviously in the last 5-10 years, iced coffee has kind of gotten a little popular in America as a trend. But that's how they kind of drink coffee a lot in Japan. So do you guys like iced coffee? Or do you like it hot?
I like iced coffee during the winter. Sometimes I'll make a pot of coffee and wait for it to cool and shove it in the fridge and drink it in the summertime.
Yeah, it just depends on what the weather's doing to us down here. When it's cold, obviously hot, and then when it's wailing on us, iced coffee's awesome too.
I like it hot like I like my women.
What I like about the coffee, other than tea, is that for whatever reason, when I make a thing of I just get cold water, splash a little bit of coffee in there, and just the smallest little bit of coffee makes the water, have a flavor. Where if I drink a thing of iced tea, I got all dried out, it makes you more thirsty. Where the coffee doesn't seem to do that so much to me. So people are putting some different concoctions in here. Vanessa saying caramel macchiato with 2 double shot espressos. So I don't remember what macchiato was. Caramel is caramel. That's easy. 2 double shots just means you take your coffee and you add more, espresso to it, which gives it more zing or what.
Yeah, that's eye bugging out coffee, man. That's good shit. That'll kickstart you in the morning.
Is macchiato just a cappuccino?
So is espresso just like super high potent coffee? Is that what it basically
No.
is?
So basically, it's just the way of extracting the coffee out is through the espresso. So actually, there's less caffeine in espresso. It's just that instead of taking the grounds, right, and letting hot water trickle over them with no pressure, like a Mr. Coffee or that little thing with the Keurigs or whatever they're called,
Mhm.
they're pushing water through it maybe, but under really no pressure. I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. The Keurigs might be putting them under pressure, but typically, like a Mr. Coffee is just putting hot water, gravity pulls it through the filter in the coffee pot.
Yeah, it's a drip coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
And like a French press, you put your coffee grounds in the water, and the French press comes in like a big screen and squishes all the coffee grounds to the bottom. A percolator will kind of do a different version, but you're basically mixing your coffee grounds in with hot water, and you're getting like a coffee water. With espresso, you're taking your grounds, and with under high pressure and temperature, you're pushing basically steam through the really fine coffee grounds. So espresso grounds are more fine than a regular coffee ground. And what you get is a time shot. So like at 30 seconds, it's going to blow a certain amount of whatever espresso shots cup worth of water through those grounds. And it's going to be like a one-shot deal. It's going to suck all the caffeine out of those grounds. You're just going to throw those grounds away. You get one shot of espresso out of there. It's probably 2/3 of the caffeine or something like that of a regular cup of coffee. So when you throw 2 of those shots into a cup of coffee, now you're dealing with like 2 cups of coffee worth in one volume of cup of coffee.
That also
Yeah.
causes the bitterness to go off the chart. I had Cuban espresso when I was in Miami, when I was in college, and when I say Cuban, I mean I was at my friend's house who was a first generation American. All his relatives were all from Cuba, and it was served to us in this sterling silver little thing, and we had these little tiny cups that I was 22, 23 years old, so I was like, what are these up with these little cups? These little tiny cups. I thought we were having coffee. And she says, "Oh yeah, coffee, express coffee." And I'm like, "What's express coffee?" But her English was not so great. I didn't realize she meant espresso. And then I took a taste of it. It's like, this is like nothing like coffee. I didn't say that, but
It's more bitter for sure, and it's like in the movies. Sometimes they'll make it look like it's like syrup or molasses. It's not like that. It's just like coffee. It's just like water.
but instead of being like when you pour it, how through the light you can see it's like a brown type color. Well, this was like black.
It's just squishing a cup of coffee down into that small.
Right. It's the density, less water.
Now you've got that espresso shot, right? So everybody's seen them make those espresso shots, and they'll usually squish out 2 of them at a time. So then you've got your espresso shot in that little coffee cup. If you take that and you just drink it, that's an espresso. If you put that in a cup of water, it's an Americano. So if it's just basically turning an espresso into a cup of coffee, it's called an Americano. If you take it and put it into milk, thanks for the reminder. So if you take that espresso shot and you just put it into hot milk, that's a macchiato. If you take that hot milk and you run it through that wand, that's part of the espresso machine, because it's got all that temperature and pressure. You can blow steam through a wand, and you basically get the technique of blowing steam through milk, and it'll whip the milk into a froth. And you've seen that before. So if you take
that's actually what a macchiato is. It's when you take the espresso and you put it with the frothed milk.
Well, they're saying with the milk. So with just froth or whatever, then it would be a cappuccino when it's just all froth. So you take that espresso or coffee or whatever, and you put it into, or you put the foam into it, and it's like half a cup of coffee is foam. That's a cappuccino. And then that's pretty much the main ones you got is the espresso and the cappuccino. Most everything is that. And then mochaccino just means they put chocolate in there.
Yeah, you lost me on coffee.
Well, just kind of give you this.
No, it's interesting 'cause I don't drink
There's an
it, so
espresso shot,
I kind of know what this
water,
stuff is,
milk,
but I don't know what. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because you hear, I'll go to my wife will go to Starbucks and I'll get like a vanilla bean frappuccino or something, and you hear these people they just name off. It takes them like 3.5 minutes for an order, and it's like, what the hell did you just say? And it's like all this different stuff, and it's like, wow, that's not even coffee. That's like, it's weird. It's really interesting to listen to people order it at Starbucks. I don't get it.
Well,
You remember the coffee ordering scene in L.A. Story?
Oh yeah, exactly.
That was just hilarious.
That's hilarious.
but it's like when you go to a bar, there's you order or whatever, just a different way. All right, well, so that's coffee and that's cheese. And Dano, you going to eat coffee and cheese together?
Probably not.
Ever heard of anybody doing such a thing?
I haven't really paid attention.
So I'm guessing no. I mean, if your parents did it, you'd know.
I mean, I suppose I remember my dad, who would drink coffee morning, noon, and night. Would if for some reason we went to some place that had hamburgers and there was cheese on the hamburger, he would always have a cup of coffee.
Oh no! If you look at the thing on what do you call it, our picture today, I found a picture where they're putting cheese down like if there's a cookie next to a cup of coffee. So that's a thing.
eating a burger with coffee. I've actually, I'm not saying it's weird. I've never heard anyone do that before.
Is that a cultural thing?
I don't
That
know.
picture?
I don't know, but it's Cracker Barrel from Kraft.
Oh, it's a corporate thing.
I mean, it must be something. It's like putting cheese on apple pie. So we're gonna go do that one, I guess. Clover, cheese on apple pie.
What?
Cheese on apple pie? No.
I mean,
Cycle, cheese on apple pie.
I've had it. I would much rather have the vanilla ice cream.
Ghost,
I've never even heard of that. No.
Gary,
I've heard of it, never tried it. Don't really sound good.
Dano.
it's communist.
I think it's supposed to be American, but yeah, I can't even.
No, it's anti-American.
I can't deal with the concept. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be hot pie, right? And then you put the cheese on it and it melts a little bit.
No, then you put the ice cream on it. There is no
Let me
cheese.
ask you this, Dano. If you put American cheese on an apple pie, is that not American?
I don't know. I just don't like the idea.
It's a paradox now.
Well, if you put American cheese on caviar, do they cancel each other out?
Or they just have World War III.
Well, some of us
Battle Royale right there.
I know I haven't.
All right, so Vanessa is saying cheese on pie. Yes, but she also said hot peppers in hot chocolate. So we've already had a couple people talking about hot chocolate. Hot peppers in hot chocolate, yes or no?
Peppers and chocolate go together well. I can't say that I've ever had peppers and hot chocolate, but I do know peppers and chocolate pair pretty well.
I'm not going to go through everybody, but has anybody else done that?
I love hot chocolate, but I can't imagine having peppers in it.
Same way.
Oh, really? So I went to a vegan cupcake place in Oklahoma City, right? And they had a chocolate cupcake with peppers in it. And I was like, I've heard of that kind of thing before, but I've never tried it. And it was really, really interesting and good. So I would be all over hot chocolate with hot peppers in it. It's hot chocolate, but then you get this warm, the hot chocolate warm would go away and it would be replaced with that pepper warm for a minute.
Right.
I mean, it wouldn't be like peppers that would make you tears in your eyes.
Now, did it have like chunks of pepper in it, or was it more like ground into a powder type?
More like an essence. I wouldn't be surprised if it was even like an extract just in
Like an extract or something. Yeah. That's what with some of the chocolates and stuff I've had. I know, can't remember where it was at, but there was a chocolate fountain, and it was almost like they put a little bit of cayenne or something in the chocolate in the fountain, but it had that little bit of heat to it.
It was a warm heat. It wasn't like a make your eyes water or pick.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. It was just enough that you knew it was there. I mean, it
You
was
mean like a peppermint?
accent.
No, not like a peppermint, like a heat. But you'd eat the cupcake and it had this frosting. So like just as the chocolate frosting is like, leaving your mouth, you're done, absorbing the chocolate or whatever happens to it. Like it would be replaced with a warmth. Like if you just got done eating, I don't know, like something that had peppers in it, and then it would just be gone. It wasn't a lot. It was just there. And it was just such an interesting like finish, I guess, whatever the word would be, like to the chocolate. It was really, really neat. Now, in a cupcake, I don't think I'd want to eat like a whole big piece of cake like that or something, but a cup of chocolate might be interesting.
Yeah, I put peppermint in my hot chocolate. That's pretty good. That's probably the only pepper I put in there.
That's different, but that's certainly good.
Yeah,
for you.
no, I'm just joking.
Candy cane or whatever in there.
Yeah, oh yeah, especially this time of year.
Candy cane and cheese. All right, now we're getting.
Oh, come on. Now we're just getting silly.
All right. So I guess that'll be it. So is there anything else? We should talk about a gun shop. Have you ever seen, I know you've seen coffee at gun shops. Have you ever seen cheese at a gun shop?
Not like a block of cheese, no.
Hold on. I know I can say yes. I'm trying to think of like how many of them now. But there's gun shops that are like Bass Pro. So we all have, right?
That's true.
So there's got to be stuff like that. I think of an Outfitters, right? Like a place that's on the way out to the woods or someplace in a big hunting area. Like they'll often have like all the stuff to make beef jerky and stuff. They'll have all kinds of foods and stuff in those. I don't think it's unreasonable to see them, especially in Wisconsin. I'm sure the gun shops have them in Wisconsin.
I think you find that more in a place that has a lot of British influence, because I mean that's the plowman's lunch, right? A chunk of bread, a chunk of cheese, and a beer.
Vanessa says she's seen a cigar shop with cheese and inside of a gun shop.
That would be cool.
Um,
Have you heard of Block of Cheese Day at the White House?
what?
Block of Cheese Day at the White House?
No. Is that where they like
I
park?
think that's just a euphemism for graft.
No, it's a real thing. It was started by Andrew Jackson back a long time ago, and basically what he would do is one day a year he called Block of Cheese Day, and I don't know how it became called Block of Cheese Day. Don't get me quoted on the history of it, but he basically, all of the people and the lobbyists that had kind of strange, weird things that would love to get an ear of the president or his staff, but always were kind of laughed at and just kind of like shunned away from the White House. He set aside one day that these kind of weird kind of proposals that people would want to get funded through the government would have their day, and it was called Block of Cheese Day, and it was where he gave anyone the chance to come and talk with him or his staff about something that they would love to get funded that wasn't ever taken seriously. It's called Block of Cheese Day. I don't know if they still do it or not, but it was Andrew Jackson started it a long time ago. I just thought of that. Sorry, didn't mean to throw it off the rails.
Did he give him cheese too?
I think what it has is he had cheese out in the lobby, and his staff would stay there all day until everyone in the lobby was gone, and they just put a big old block of cheese out in the lobby for them to snack on while they waited to see the president or someone on his staff.
If you're talking about lobbyists showing up at the White House, that that back then, and it was really stupid ideas and whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's called every day nowadays.
Well, but I think what it was is he set aside a day that people that usually would not ever have access to the president or his staff would finally get their day.
Obama did that in 2015.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, according to the internet, anyway. Because I had to look it up. You know me.
Yeah,
I need to sign up for the next cheese day. So
More cheese.
That's right.
I'm just here for the cheese. Have a special shirt made, right?
That's right. I don't have anything to say. I just want my block of cheese.
Does anyone know where saying cheese comes from?
I have no idea. I think we're getting ready to get educated, though.
I mean, do you have an answer, or are you asking?
I bet Google does.
Yeah, I'm looking at Google right now.
I mean, I could
I thought
assume
you
it's
actually
because of
knew.
the way it's pronounced, the E in cheese for smiling in photography.
Uh-huh.
You can have them say please. It's doing the same thing.
Well, yeah. Please.
Former Ambassador Joseph E. Davis
That's what they're saying.
said he discovered it on the set of his mission to Moscow. Because he says if you say cheese, it's an automatic smile.
I figured it was
I
the
just thought it was a marketing ploy by the dairy, a long time ago. It was a marketing ploy by the dairy people. Say cheese.
So 1943, that's when we started saying cheese. All right, well, thanks again, everybody, for joining in and kind of going off topic tonight. We didn't really talk about guns too much at all, but every once in a while that'll happen. I think this is episode 698, so I guess we're doing episode 700 on Friday.
Nice.
Maybe we'll do something about that. Maybe we won't. I don't know.
There's the communist block, and then there's the cheese block.
There you go. Oh, you know what? We got to keep going for a minute.
There's the mental block.
Oh, my timing is all off now.
Mental block.
He's gonna play something here.
It's like a mafia thing. It's a mental block. What about a neural block? That could be.
Here we go.
Maybe.
Okay.
What are we
Here we
doing?
go.
My internet's not doing good.
What are we doing?
Well, nothing gonna happen while he's muted.
Yeah, well, get ready to copyright it. It takes a little time preparation. So I'm pushing this button, and then I'll push another button.
The guys and gals at GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.
Oh, howdy, partner. Time for timer. Do you ever get that hungry feeling after school? Boy, I do. I'm so hungry, I could eat a wagon wheel. When I'm slow on the draw and I need something to chaw, I hanker for a hunk of cheese. When my 10-gallon hat's a feeling 5 gallons flat, I got something planned, which is little cheese sandwiches. Come on!